Hello to any and all movie nerds and fans out there, and in particular, any Twister film fans and disaster film fans. Welcome to Film Obsessed, where today we are going to talk about why I believe the new film Twisters is the kind of summer blockbuster that movies need right now. This is a movie that I have been dubious about ever since it was first announced, but as we saw more of it through the marketing campaign and the behind the scenes, I have become more interested in its summer blockbuster flavor that it seems to be going towards, and it just feels like this season is in need of a film like it. If you are looking forward to this movie like I am, give this video a like and subscribe to the channel so we can build this film community that I'm trying to start on this channel. Without further ado, sit back, relax, grab some popcorn, and let's jump right into it. So, this new Twisters film, which some have dubbed a remake and a reboot and a sequel all at once, is coming out this week, and like I said, it is a film that I'm excited to see because I have been preparing myself more for its summer blockbuster flair that I have been gathering as I see more footage, but also receive more information about it through the behind the scenes. Of course, this movie is being based off the original film from 1996 with the late great Bill Paxton, a film that I've only seen once a couple of years ago for the first time, and it is exactly the kind of film that you expected it to be. It is a really cheesy disaster film that doesn't really have a huge story to it, but you are mainly there for the disastrous sequences that it presents to you. Disaster films as a whole don't get made much anymore, and even when they do, I feel like they are taking themselves a little too seriously sometimes, or don't focus on the right things, which is the disasters themselves. Of course, it is important that you have some good characters in there as well, but I have noticed that some of the recent disaster films don't do stuff like that. These movies have kind of become what some describe as dumb fun films that you can shove popcorn in your face while watching. I think that this new Twisters film kind of gives credence to that idea, but in a way that I feel like it makes sense. This is why I wanted to make this video, because the movie is coming out during the summer, of which many people know is the season for when you get a lot of these kinds of blockbuster films. Some examples of this include a film like Independence Day, Top Gun Maverick, Jurassic Park, Oppenheimer, and then even the very film that I've already mentioned in the original Twister, which, by the way, went on to gross just shy of $500 million at the box office on a $92 million budget. That is seriously very impressive for a film like that to do that, and I feel like one of the biggest aspects that gave it that power was the fact that it came out at the beginning of the summer season. These kinds of movies have been getting made for decades now, and Twisters is just the next one in line. I have been watching so many pundits online within the industry talk about how they believe that this movie is going to be one of the bigger ones in terms of the box office this summer based off its scale, and I can see where they're coming from. When you watch all the footage and you see all the behind the scenes, it just feels like a movie that warrants you to go and see it in the theater no matter the kind of format, although I would probably prefer IMAX for this given it is a disaster film. That is a perfect segue to talk about the footage in the behind the scenes itself, because this stuff has really impressed me as I've come to learn more about it and watch more of it. For anyone who has not seen any of this stuff, I highly implore you to go and watch it. So a lot of the behind the scenes videos have come out showcasing the fact that the movie is being entirely shot on location for the most part, as far as doing environmental scenes when our characters are out and about fighting against tornadoes. I've said it before and I'll say it again, but this is the kind of filmmaking that makes these movies stand out so much more. Obviously, the weather stuff is not real on screen, but when you shoot on location, it makes it look more real and believable. The filmmakers and cast themselves even went out as far to go and get an idea of what this kind of stuff is like by studying and participating in actual storm chasing with storm chasers. It's really cool stuff that brings in the nitty-gritty details that I like to see in things. The director Lee Isaac Chung is a very interesting choice given he hasn't done too much in his career. His main credits include directing one episode of The Mandalorian Season 3, and then a film called Minari. If I had to take a guess, given I haven't seen his film, he is probably a director that does well with scale and how to shoot it while incorporating good characters to fit scenery. I am definitely curious to see what touch he gives to this film. On another note, something else that was revealed is that the movie is being shot on film. Basically, to give you the Cliff Notes version of what the difference is, it just means that the movie is being shot using better imagery resolution. So the movie is going going to look a lot nicer than if it was on digital, which when on that gives a more stylized flare effect. It is a style of filmmaking that is very reminiscent of the old days that I am glad to see still around and is being used on a movie like this. There are other details behind what the difference between film and digital is, but I just wanted to point out what I believe is the more important aspect of it. I would also like to take some time to look at the cast here as well, because I like who they assembled here. You have Glen Powell, who is obviously the main star, and at this point I feel like we can consider a new movie star now that he has gotten so popular. I think it is good that you have a star like him in this leading role. Somebody else like Anthony Ramos, who is mainly made his rise to stardom in musicals with something like Hamilton or In the Heights, and then went on to be in the Transformers movies. Daisy Edgar-Jones, who is the second main lead, and another actor who I think is making a come up to the eyes of many people out there as far as a new actress who I think is going to take people by storm, no pun intended, when she stars in more things. You even have two other actors who most people won't even know are in this movie, like David Corenswet, who is now the new Superman under James Gunn's new DC Universe, and then even someone like Katie O'Brien, who is another actress who recently has been in many different things that you probably would know and is getting her name out there. So you have an ensemble of cast members who vary in their stardom, which I think is kind of needed in the sense that you mix it up a little bit and you get people from all around to see these kinds of actors. So far, when I watch them on screen and off screen, they look like they are all putting in great performances and just simply having fun making this film and giving it their all, and that's the stuff that I love to see. So basically, what I'm trying to say is, when you compile all this together, you have a recipe for a potential summer blockbuster that, even though in name it is not high up there on the list of films that people will know, it is still one that I think is going to represent the ideal summer blockbuster that most people want to see in the movie theaters. This is how so many of those older classic films rose up to the famed remembrance that they have now. They were simple films that didn't have to do too much, but when you looked at everything around them, they had that blockbuster feel to it all. The only thing that I'm worried about with this movie is the fact that it was made on a $200 million budget. And the final thing that we all need to do is just go out and support it, and I just hope that people actually do. It looks like a fun time at the movie theaters, and I look forward to seeing it. With that all being said, ladies and gentlemen, my fellow film nerds, that is where this video is going to end. I really love what I'm seeing here from this film, and I just can't wait to get another summer blockbuster feeling in me again. Leave your comments down below about what you think about this movie and all the details that I showed you and my commentary on it. If you want to see more moving forward from me on this channel with regards to film and you enjoyed this video, hit the like button and also subscribe to the channel if you are new here, and turn on that notification bell to be updated for when I upload again. So yeah, that's a wrap, folks. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of the day, and I will see you soon for the next video.